Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a skill that's, well, absolutely essential, critical thinking. And here's the thing, it's not really about how smart you are. It's about how you think.
All right, so here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start with why just being smart isn't the whole picture. Then we'll peek under the hood at our mind's default settings. After that, we'll nail down what critical thinking actually is, and I'll give you a toolkit to start using it right away. We'll also look out for some common thinking traps and wrap up by talking about why this one skill can, no joke, change everything.
Okay, let's kick things off with a big one. A really common misconception, actually. We tend to think that if someone's smart, they must be a good thinker, right? Well, as we're about to see, that's not always true. Sometimes high intelligence can even be a bit of a trap.
So why do smart, knowledgeable people sometimes make just awful decisions? You've seen it, I've seen it. A person who's brilliant on paper makes a move that leaves you scratching your head. The answer, it turns out, has nothing to do with their IQ. It's all about the process of how they think. Okay, let's make this real. Picture this. You're an airport manager. You get a call. It's a bomb threat, but it's from a psychic. Now, you know there's absolutely zero evidence that psychics are reliable, but you've got this high-stakes, life-or-death decision to make based on, well, basically nothing. What do you do?
So they decide to search the plane. And, get this, they find a bomb. It looks like the psychic was right. The manager made the right call. Case closed. Or was it? See, the story's not over, and there's a twist coming that teaches us a huge lesson.
It turns out the psychic planted the bomb herself just to prove she had powers. So yeah, the manager made the right decision to search the plane, but for completely the wrong reasons. They just got lucky. And that's the whole point. Critical thinking isn't about being lucky. It's about being sound.
Okay, so if the goal is to be sound, not lucky, what's stopping us? Well, to figure that out, we've got to look at our own internal wiring. You know, the mind's default settings.
And here's the thing, it might be a tough pill to swallow, but our minds are not naturally rational. Nope, our default setting is what you might call egocentric. That means if we just let it run on autopilot, our thinking gets biased, distorted, and focused on our own self-interest. Unless we actively fight against it, that default mode can cause a lot of problems for us.
So our mind basically has these three core jobs, right? You've got thinking, which is how we try to make sense of everything around us. Then there's feeling, which is kind of like our internal compass, telling us how we're doing. And finally, you've got wanting, which is the engine that actually pushes us to do things. Now, these three things are always influencing each other. It's like a constant dance in your head. For example, if you think you're in danger, you feel scared, and you want to run. They're all connected. But here's the game changer. Thinking is the one we can actually take control of. It's the key to taking command of the whole system, managing our feelings and guiding what we want.
All right, so if our default wiring is kind of flawed, what's the fix? Well, that's where critical thinking comes in. Think of it like the essential software upgrade your brain needs. And let's be super clear about what it is. Critical thinking isn't just thinking harder. It's about thinking smarter. It's a reflective, reasonable process that's all about one thing: deciding what to believe or what to do.
And you know, this isn't some new idea. Not at all. We're talking about a concept that goes back over 2,500 years. Thinkers like Socrates were all about this. His whole thing was, the unexamined life is not worth living. He knew back then that we had to constantly question ourselves.
Okay, that's all great, but how do we actually do it? What does this look like day to day? Let's get practical. It's time to open up the Critical Thinker's Toolkit.
All right, there are basically 4 key steps here. First, interpretation. You got to understand what something really means. Step 2 is analysis. You break it apart and look for the arguments and, importantly, the assumptions hiding inside. Third, evaluation. You judge whether it's credible, whether it's logical. And finally, step 4, inference. You draw your own reasonable conclusions from all that work.
And to make all that happen, you don't need some complicated system. You just need to constantly ask 3 simple but powerful questions. Number 1, is it clear? Number 2, is it accurate? And number 3, is it relevant? That's it. That's your guide. So now you've got the toolkit.
But here's the other half of the battle. You have to be able to recognize the common traps that make us not use these tools.
Just look at this breakdown. It couldn't be clearer. On one side, you have critical thinkers. They're honest with themselves, they base their judgments on evidence, they actually listen to other people, and they control their feelings. On the other side, uncritical thinkers. They pretend to know more than they do, go with their gut, get lost in their own opinions, and are totally controlled by their feelings. So be honest with yourself for a second. Which column do you spend more time in?
So let's call out some of the biggest roadblocks. First up, egocentrism, that default setting we talked about, believing our view is the only one that counts. Then there's media distortion. When we get our worldview from news and entertainment that only shows the craziest stuff, our sense of reality gets warped. And then there's a big one, fear. Just the plain old fear of making a mistake or looking dumb, which can stop us from ever questioning anything.
All right, let's bring this all together. Why does any of this matter? Why put in the work? Because honestly, developing this skill can change, well, pretty much everything.
This is not just some exercise for a philosophy class. Critical thinking is a tool for real life. It's for solving that practical problem at work. It's for making those huge personal decisions. It's even for digging into the core ideas you live your life by. At the end of the day, it's about improving the quality of your life one thought at a time. So I want to leave you with a question, a challenge, really. Think about something you truly believe. It could be about your job, your relationships, anything. What is one belief you hold that you've never, ever really examined? Because taking this toolkit and turning it on yourself, that's where the real work and the real reward begins.